What is the purchase process like when buying a pre-construction in the Dominican Republic? A pre-construction property is a property that you pay for while the developer is actively building it. A lot of the times, the developer will give you a payment plan to purchase the property. You do not have to come with the cash up front to acquire the investment. Okay? So let's say you find a property that you really like. You're like, Sakia, I love this. I want to move forward with it. I'm like, okay, great. Let's go ahead and put in an offer. When you put in your offer to the seller, which is AKA the developer, you would make a reservation on the property. A reservation can be anywhere from $1,000, $3,000, $5,000, maybe even $10,000. It depends on what the seller requires, okay? Think of a reservation like earnest money. A reservation is to test how serious you are about moving forward with this purchase, okay? Once you make your reservation, right, this is a non-refundable payment. Non-refundable. So if you are moving forward with this purchase, you need to really know that you're moving forward, okay? You cannot back out once you make this payment, because once you make it, it's non-refundable. So once you make your reservation, you have 30 days to make your down payment. Your down payment can be 20% of the home price, 30% of the home price. It depends, again, on the seller and what they offer as a flexible payment plan to you. Some sellers will allow for you to do 10% down, 15% down. Again, it depends on the project that you're moving forward with. So between the time that you make your reservation and you're making your down payment, it's a 30-day window for the seller to give you your promise of sale contract. What is a promise of sale contract? A promise of sale contract is basically what it says in the name. I promise that I'm going to deliver this unit that's 100 square meters, 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom with kitchen, flooring, private jacuzzi to John Doe, okay? That is what it says. Also in your promise of sale contract, it outlines all of the legalities of this purchase. It also has your payment plan inside of the contract as well. And you get your payment plan and you sign off on your payment plan before you do your reservation, okay? So between the time you make your reservation and the time you make your down payment, you are going to receive your promise of sale contract. Some developers have the promise of sale contract via DocuSign, and some of them do not. Some of them require for you to print it out, sign it, and send it directly to their office, okay? So once you make your down payment, right, you have an additional 30 days to make your during construction payments. Again, this is all outlined in your contract, and it's difficult to tell you right now in this video what your payments are going to be, because first you need to pick a house, and then we also need to look at the delivery date of the property, and then you will know what your payments are like, okay? So usually if you go on my website and you're looking at the property, I have a brief outline of the payment plan, like 20, 30, 50. If you need the exact numbers, you can always reach out to me for the payment plan, and I will give you a brief summary of what the payments look like, okay? But only if you're serious, okay? Let's say your property is going to be delivered within the next 12 months. It means that you're making 12 consecutive payments to the seller, and it goes towards the principal price of the home, okay? And these are interest-free payments because you're financing directly through the seller. They don't charge you interest. Credit is not a factor for seller financing. Okay, the only fees that you might inquire or acquire is maybe wire transfer fees or something of that nature. Some of these developers even accept PayPal and Zelle, depending on how established they are. Not all sellers accept Zelle and PayPal. A lot of them do require wire transfers, but some of them have accounts in the United States where they can accept Zelle payments. Months go by, you made your 12 consecutive payments. Now it's time to make your delivery payment. Remember, you made your reservation, you made your down payment, and then you made your during construction payments. You might owe 40%, maybe 50% to the seller. Now it's time for you to come with that delivery payment. That delivery payment can be financed using a bank in the Dominican Republic. You can come with private lending, or you can come with cash. If your property does not come with Tax Confotur, then you do have to pay a title transfer fee, which is 3% of the home price, which is typically, if your house is $100,000, it's $3,000. If it's $200,000, it's $6,000. So that's really your closing cost. if you do not have a Tax Confotur property. A lot of the properties that I post on my website are Tax Confotur. Sometimes we'll have one-offs that are not Tax Confotur. If it is a resale property, then it's not going to have Tax Confotur. There was one instance where I was selling a resale and it might have came with Tax Confotur depending on the lawyer that you're working with. But 9 times out of 10, a resale property is not going to have Tax Confotur. The first buyer of a pre-construction property is the one that benefits from the tax exemption. Okay. Now, if it doesn't come with Tax Confotur, again, it's just a title transfer fee of 3%. If your property is under $170,000, you do not pay property taxes in the Dominican Republic. If it's over $170,000, you can declare up to $170,000, and then you will make a payment of 1% of the home price minus $170,000. And look in the caption so that you can see an example of what I'm talking about. Okay. So yeah, so that pretty much goes into detail about what I'm talking about, like how the purchase process works here in the Dominican Republic when you're buying a pre-construction. But yeah, that's pretty much it, explained within the simplest way possible. Depending on the developer that you decide to purchase from, they are going to have different stipulations on how they do business. Not all developers do business the same way. Not all developers are professional. Not all developers have a huge team of people that are working with them. So keep that in mind when you are choosing the property that you want to move forward with. Not all developers are the same, okay? So yeah. Anyway, that pretty much wraps up what I wanted to talk about today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to follow me for all things related Punta Cana real estate. Bye. Oh, and my name is Zakia. Bye.